Is any day of the week.
Is it November yet, John?
Planet America, Wednesday on ABC Australia.
Welcome, I'm Tracy Pa with the Midday News. The National Cultural Commission has secured land titles for the National Performing Art Troupe in Goroka, ending a 44-year wait. NCC Executive Director Stephen Kilenda received the titles from the Department of Lands and Physical Planning on September 3, 2024. The titles cover Allotment 18, Section 8 and Allotment 3, Section 116, which house the NPAT office and residential area. Kilanda thanked key officials for their support, calling it a milestone achievement in protecting state assets. On the eve of Pope Francis' arrival to Port Moresby, UNAIDS has recognized the critical work of Catholic healthcare providers and other faith-based organizations in HIV testing, treatment and care throughout Papua New Guinea. UNAIDS country director said Catholic health services and other faith-based organizations have constantly and with steadfast dedication answered the call to serve those in need. This is particularly evident in the mission to support those living with HIV in Papua New Guinea in providing health services and support for people living with HIV in rural and remote areas. According to statistics shared by the Vatican in 2012, Catholic Church-related organizations provided around a quarter of all HIV treatment, care and support globally. The support of the Catholic Church and of other Christian churches has not only been in the direct provision of health services, but in the sharing of information to parishioners across the country. Chief Justice Gibbs Salika has urged lawyers to seek legal aid from their superiors to better their knowledge of Papua New Guinea's constitution. Salika said this during the PNG Continuing Legal Education Disputes and Commercial Law Seminar this week in Port Moresby. He said the hierarchy in the justice sector is willing to impart legal knowledge to current and upcoming lawyers, but lawyers never ask for assistance. He urged them to go to senior lawyers who have vast experience in law and learn something. The Chief Justice stressed that there is no stop to legal education. Every day is a learning day. In regional news, dozens of properties in Tasmania's TVWAN Valley have been damaged by this week's severe weather and flooding, and the hard work of cleaning up has begun. In the state's north and northwest, 12,000 households are still without power after this week's wild weather.
The new Norfolk Bowls Club on the banks of the River Derwent was awash with water days ago. At its peak, flooding in the building was waist high.
So certainly a big influx of water over the main lower floor of the club. So this is going to be a biggest clean-up area that we've had for a while.
The club's not insured because it's in a flood zone.
A bit of a nerve-wracking experience, and certainly for a community that relies on the bowls club for drinks, bowls, exercise, it's a bit of a problem for us.
The caravan park is also a mess. Debris from the river needs to be cleared away. Some roads in the Derwent Valley have been reopened. Others will need major repairs. At Westaway, the community has been isolated for 3 days. The local roadhouse has been the only place open for supplies.
It's been very good for business, and hopefully we've been able to help out the locals with what they've needed. We've had trouble getting milk and bread through, but that's all come through yesterday and today.
Authorities say rapid impact assessments show 37 properties across the upper Derwent Valley have been damaged by floodwaters. They include 2 homes, as well as sporting facilities, public toilets, sheds and fences. In the north, the fallout from the wild weather continues. Shirley Solenko hasn't had power for 4 days.
It is just unbearable. There's no water, there's nothing. It's like living on that TV program Alone, fending for yourself.
But at the local neighbourhood house, she's been able to charge her phone, have a shower and a hot meal.
People like to be looked after and to be warm. And like a couple of people said, we didn't realise how much we needed this until we were here.
Households without power for more than 3 days can now access government grants worth $350 for food relief.
A fridge or a freezer full of food that is gone as a result of the power connections being disconnected for some time, that's a large expense for any family, any household.
Businesses are also struggling with outages. This one in the Tamar Valley has gone 5 days without power.
We've had to stop doing our deliveries and harvesting and that, so half our crew's not here on site at the moment.
Amid unprecedented power outages, Tas Networks has been in dispute with the electrical union. The Fair Work Commission has ordered industrial action by unionised staff be suspended for a month.
I thank Fair Work for its determination, and now we can get on with the important job of getting people restored to the power system.
Crews will be making the most of the calmer weather to restore as many connections as possible before another front crosses the state later this week.
Dry grass, a wet winter, and now higher than usual temperatures are fueling fire-friendly conditions across Queensland.
Has already begun.
The forecasting did indicate that we would be experiencing grass fire conditions in early spring, and our crews are already starting to experience that.
A wet and frosty winter resulted in dry vegetation, which has caused the danger, with grasslands and open forests the most at risk.
From Scenic Rim all the way out through the Darling Downs out to Charleville, and then up into the west out through Winton. And in the north, we're talking about the Cape area and right through the Gulf and the Savannah country.
Recent heat has compounded the problem.
For large parts of Queensland, there's also a high likelihood of unusually warm days, so those are more extreme heat days.
The Bureau is forecasting that spring could bring higher than usual rainfall to southern and central parts of the state.
The timing of how those events play out will impact how that impacts fire danger or whether there's a risk for flooding.
That's little comfort to the people in Tara on the Western Downs, where fires ripped through more than 50 homes last year and killed 2 people.
I think people are still coming to terms with, the loss and the heartache that they experienced.
A community that is still rebuilding faces the prospect of more danger.
At the end of the day, you've got to make sure that you are prepared for the worst, and I suppose a bushfire is one of the worst things that can happen.
In sports, executives of Capital Rugby Union, Morro Bay Rugby Union and Darru Rugby Union have resolved not to attend the PNGRU annual general meeting scheduled for today, Thursday, 5th September, at the PNGRU head office at Sir Hubert Murray Stadium. The 3 unions have collectively agreed to boycott the AGM after reviewing the agenda-based issues, including lack of transparency in the selection of the representative team and team officials, lack of transparency in the financial reporting since 2021, and the position of treasurer vacant for over 12 months and not included in the AGM agenda. CRU is aware of the potential consequences of this decision and will review their position as a member of the PNGRU if the AGM is held without amendments. And that ends the midday news. Join us for more news and sports at 6 tonight.